That's some really good food out there, and I just enjoyed a nice plate. Speaking of food systems, Indigenous Food Systems Breakout Session is now getting underway. Across the country, Indigenous communities are leading and strengthening agriculture and food systems grounded in knowledge, culture, and connection to land. To help set the stage for an upcoming breakout session, we are pleased to share a short video now on Indigenous food systems.
When we celebrate Canadian food, we are celebrating something much deeper. Long before tractors or trade deals, Indigenous peoples were cultivating, harvesting, and stewarding food systems from coast to coast to coast. From the buffalo economies of the plains to the clam gardens of the west coast. From the maple sap of the northeast to the wild rice that still dances on northern lakes. From corn, beans, and squash grown together as sisters, to sustainable fishing, hunting, and seed-saving practices that ensured food for generations. These weren't just food systems. They were and are systems of governance, kinship, and sustainability. Today, Indigenous food leaders are rebuilding, protecting, and innovating growing food sovereignty, creating new markets, and connecting youth to the land. Their work is shaping the future of food and agriculture in Canada, and that's a future we can all be proud of.
The perspectives you just saw are part of a broader national conversation. Farm Credit Canada and Maukwat are partnering on the Indigenous Agriculture and Food Systems National Engagement, which brings together Indigenous voices, perspectives, and experiences from across the agriculture and food systems. If this topic resonates with you, we invite you to continue the conversation at the Indigenous Food Systems Breakout Session. Runs from 1 o'clock right now to 2 o'clock today in the Salon du Jardin. Ask for directions, and the session will focus on market opportunities and capital solutions that support Indigenous participation, growth, and long-term prosperity in agriculture and food. That breakout session is happening right now for those who are interested in that. Right now, though, as we kick off the afternoon of day one of the Indigenous Prosperity Forum. Indigenous Prosperity. Doesn't that just sound goodish, Dennis? Show Indigenous Prosperity Forum. I'd like to remind folks that the silent auction will be wrapping up this evening. There are some incredible pieces there. Make sure that you get the QR code. If you're not big on the QR code, there's a text that you can text to get your bid in before those close. TikTok Canada highlights creators through campaigns such as the 2025 Indigenous TikTok Visionary Voices, celebrating 15 creators making a positive impact, and monthly virtual programming to foster community growth. Follow TikTok Canada to stay up to date with Indigenous creators. And now from TikTok Indigenous creators in the digital economy, please welcome Government Relations Lead for Canada TikTok, Jason Hilty.
Hello again. I keep getting the best slot of the day right after lunch, so appreciate that. And for those still eating, please go ahead and continue. Don't let me interrupt. I'm going to hopefully give you some great entertaining information here today that's going to be very inspiring to you. And I want to start off, for those of you who were here yesterday, with myself and Harlan, and who got to see the presentation. Harlan Kingfisher from Smudge the Blades is featured on our title slide. Harlan's not here today for this presentation, but for those of you who were here yesterday, I mean, how good was Harlan, right? I mean, Harlan is a superstar, and the silent auction was just mentioned as well. And just to remind people that Harlan has donated a set of Manitoba moccasins that he designed that are still over there. So, good afternoon, everybody. And again, very, very happy to be here again today. My name is Jason Hilchey, and I'm the Government Relations Lead for TikTok Canada. And thank you for welcoming me into your space and for the work that I've seen you all doing over the last couple of days to strengthen community, culture, and opportunity. Now, as a guest here in this space, I would like to begin by acknowledging that I am on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. This NACA conference is the first time that I have actually presented in this environment, and so it is an absolute honor for me to be here to learn from and to partner with Indigenous communities. So I really hope that as I give my presentation today that you get some value from it, and that if you see something that you're interested in, if you are inspired, I'm here for the rest of the day, so please come and talk to me. I know that after yesterday I've talked to so many of you. There's a good reception to the presentation, so thank you very much for coming up and say hi, adding me on LinkedIn, all just amazing. So a little bit about me. I joined TikTok in September of 2024, and so while I've been here for a little over 18, 19 months now, I'm still always very much learning about TikTok. And the one thing that I have learned that is a constant with me in the time that I've been here is that no matter how much you think you do know about TikTok, there's always somebody that knows more. And in my case, it's my kids. And so they're always educating me when I get home about the new thing that is on TikTok and how for some reason I'm responsible for it, which I'm not. So with that in mind, let me take a step back and briefly explain the platform for those that may be unfamiliar with TikTok. It allows users to create and post short-form videos of up to 60 minutes. And since launching in Canada in 2018, TikTok's grown rapidly and now reaches more than 16 million monthly active users. The content that you see is distributed to you through the For You feed, which is your personalized stream unique to each viewer based on their interests. Now, this drives high engagement and strong community building. And because of the way that TikTok drives strong engagement, entrepreneurs use it to build brands and grow businesses, while many creators have turned the platform from a creative outlet into a full-time career. Now, TikTok also contributes to Canada's economy by supporting more than 600,000 small businesses to reach new customers and unlock new revenue opportunities, leveraging this engaged community through quality content with users who want to engage with it. Now, one of these creators and small business owners is Ashley Michelle, the founder of 4 Generations Creations in Kelowna, BC. Ashley began her journey reconnecting with her Indigenous heritage, creating traditional attire to wear at powwows with her daughter. In 2018, she turned that passion into a business. But when the pandemic hit, she needed to find a new way to get visibility for her products, given that in-person gatherings were shut down. Now, during this same time, Ashley and her daughter started using TikTok simply for entertainment. And through the platform, she discovered small business creators. She taught herself digital design and began selling Indigenous-inspired stickers online. Now, after a few videos got a lot of traction, she sold out her first collection and reinvested the profits back into expanding her business. Now, what started as a regalia business evolved into a full e-commerce brand, and by 2023, she opened her first retail store. Now, within 6 months, she expanded to a larger space, and she's now stocking products from more than 40 different Indigenous businesses and shipping across Canada and the United States. Now, TikTok didn't just give Ashley customers, it gave her a voice. The platform helped her share her story, grow her network, and support other Indigenous artists, turning a personal cultural journey into a sustainable business that supports her family and her community. She's also a 2023 graduate of the TikTok Accelerator for Indigenous Creators, presented by the National Screen Institute. And she's an example of how TikTok has helped amplify Indigenous voices in a positive way that has resulted in tangible success. And as Ashley puts it, sharing her story is the business, And without TikTok, it would not have reached the audience and the success that it has today. And that's the power of TikTok, not just as a platform for content, but as a platform for opportunity, community, and real economic impact. We also worked with Ashley on a television commercial that many of you may have seen over the winter of 2024-2025, where she speaks about her journey in her own words, talks about how TikTok has helped her reach the point that she is now. And so before I go any further in the presentation, I'd like to play that video for you.
My name is Ashley, and I am the owner and founder of 4 Generations Creations here in Kamloops, BC. Growing up, I didn't have a positive sense of self-identity as an Indigenous person, but being a mother changes everything. I decided that, I want better for her. I was self-taught seamstress. Using TikTok has allowed me to expand my home-based business into my first brick-and-mortar store location. We doubled our space within 6 months and are now looking to expand again. Here at my store, we also support over 30 other Indigenous artists and businesses now. And this little girl came in and she's like, wow, she just stopped and she looked around at everything. She's like, it's so colorful in here. I just love this store. It was kind of like a full circle moment, right? Because representation, that's all I wanted as a kid.
Yeah, still love that commercial. It's such a good commercial. Such a good story. And so today, as I go forward, we're going to cover a couple of different things. First, we're going to cover TikTok's economic impact to the Canadian economy, while also building on examples of small and medium-sized businesses that have thrived on the platform. But most importantly, we're going to highlight examples of the impact TikTok has had on Indigenous creators and small businesses. Now, pictured here is Bernice Clark. Bernice is an Inuit entrepreneur originally from Nunavut who runs the handmade skincare business Uwaso Soap with her husband. And Bernice's sister is actually here in the audience today. She came and said hi to me after seeing the presentation yesterday and gave me a sample of the soap. So thank you very much. I won't point you out, but I do appreciate it. Bernice originally joined TikTok for fun after a challenge from her daughter, but quickly discovered the platform was far more than getting likes. She began sharing everyday moments and blending Inuit culture into popular trends, a supportive online community focused on connection and healing. Through storytelling, she found a way to reconnect with her heritage and encourage others to feel pride in their identities. And while her business has benefited indirectly from TikTok, including partnership opportunities and growing recognition, her primary goal has always been community impact. And she uses TikTok to create a safe space, to share culture, and to promote understanding across different audiences, showing that technology can strengthen human connection rather than replace it. Now today, Bernice plans to expand her content into education and Indigenous entrepreneurship, using the global audience that she's built on TikTok to inspire growth, pride, and opportunities for others. So this is a presentation about economic impact, but the numbers alone just never tell the story. Because economic development isn't just about GDP. It's whether artists can stay in their communities. It's whether youth see themselves in the future. And it's whether culture can support livelihoods instead of only surviving in our spare time. And it's also about leveraging new mediums to share existing traditions. Now, in 2025, TikTok Canada launched its very first ever economic impact report. I've got a copy right here if anybody's interested. It's also online, tiktokcanada.ca. You can go and see all the great stories and cases about small businesses that are using TikTok. The way that we did it was a combination of both TikTok's corporate presence in Canada and the support that creates, along with the surveying of over 1,200 small businesses from across Canada to determine what their engagement with TikTok has been. And the picture is very clear and robust. In 2024, TikTok Canada's operations and the small and medium-sized businesses that use the platform contributed $2.3 billion to Canada's GDP. That equates to over 19,000 full-time equivalent jobs across the country. It also equates to more than $500 million in tax revenue paid across multiple levels of government. But one I like the best, the stat that I like the most, is sales. I know that everybody here is focused on sales. Sales is the fundamental measurement for how businesses begin to grow. And in 2024 alone, small businesses that use TikTok generated almost $1 billion in additional sales simply through using the platform. And 84% of businesses said that TikTok was essential to their survival. And a fantastic example of that is Edison Motors. Chase Barber was a truck driver in Golden, BC. He started posting on TikTok during his downtime on the road, sharing his thoughts on issues about modern semi-trucks and his ideas about hybrid electric alternatives. And as his audience grew, so did the conversation, which connected him to other drivers, manufacturers, and industry experts, where they talked about the potential of building Canada's first electric semi-truck. Those conversations led to the creation of Edison Motors. And through TikTok, Chase was able to validate his idea, crowdsource startup funding, and connect with suppliers, and even find early business partners. Now, he used the platform to openly build the company in real time, asking his community for input while pivoting along the way. Today, Edison Motors is a multi-million-dollar business with a production facility in British Columbia, and is already manufacturing its first trucks. Chase credits TikTok as a vital part of his journey, helping reduce development and marketing costs, and connecting with partners who actually became his first clients. Now, as Chase likes to say, TikTok didn't just support the business, TikTok made the business possible. We also found that 55% of small businesses on the platform said that TikTok was the best place to promote their business. Pictured here is Corey Hunlin, a Chilcotin artist and founder of the wearable art brand This Claw. And he's another example of how TikTok is amplifying Indigenous businesses. Corey originally joined TikTok for personal use and didn't expect it to impact his business at all. But after posting videos of his beading work, he began noticing a direct link between how well his videos did and how many new customers he got. Similar to Ashley Michelle, who we just featured, Corey'd been selling his work at powwows and markets, but TikTok allowed him to expand his reach far beyond those spaces. It helped him connect with community members, other Indigenous artists, and even collaborators who discovered him through his videos. And it became a place to learn, and what he jokingly calls the University of TikTok, where creators share techniques, business tips, and ideas. Beyond the business impacts, TikTok created deeper authenticity and visibility for This Claw. Corey uses the platform to share his culture, his process, and educate others about Indigenous art, and while building a supportive network of fellow creators along the way. Now, that visibility has led to partnerships with major brands and new creative opportunities, demonstrating how storytelling and cultural expression on TikTok can translate into real economic and personal growth. But it's not just about the businesses that have a direct presence on TikTok that benefit. Many businesses are profiled or reviewed by creators and see massive increases in traffic and sales because of this third-party indirect promotion. It's estimated that this kind of organic exposure on TikTok has resulted in small businesses generating more than $325 million in GDP, translating into more than 3,000 full-time direct equivalent jobs. Pictured here is Kaylandra Edgecombe. She launched Old Nassau Authentic Bahamian Cuisine in Toronto in 2002, and while she did use TikTok from the very beginning as a primary tool to promote her restaurant and connect with customers, it wasn't actually her own content that propelled her restaurant to success. Early on in business, a Toronto-based creator visited the restaurant and posted a review that gained a lot of traction and helped put her business on the map. That initial visibility led to broader recognition, with the restaurant appearing on lists highlighting it as one of the best restaurants in the city. But the major turning point for her and Old Nassau came in April 2024, when popular food critic reviewer Keith Lee visited Toronto, where Kaylandra's friends and supporters urged him to visit Old Nassau. And he did end up visiting during his trip, and he did review, and that review has reached a huge audience. It has garnered over 800,000 likes alone, and so the number of views is likely incredibly higher than that. Now, that exposure created a ripple effect with other food creators visiting and sharing their own reviews, which further amplified the reach and profile of the restaurant. Kaylandra now sees a direct correlation between her TikTok activity and customer traffic, estimating that 70% of the customers that come to her restaurant come from TikTok. Importantly, her success is not just driven by her own content, but by her customers, whose third-party videos continue to create visibility and credibility for the restaurant and to drive new customers to Old Nassau. Now, across each of the creators I've spoken about today, the pattern is clear. Storytelling strengthens community, community creates opportunity, and opportunity builds economic independence. And for communities that have historically faced barriers to markets, representation, and ownership of their narratives and their products, digital platforms like TikTok can help shift that balance. Creators are not being spoken for, but they are speaking for themselves in their own voices to a global audience. And that impact goes beyond business. It supports language, culture, mentorship, and belonging. It allows traditions to be authentically shared by choice, not filtered by gatekeepers. And it lets the younger generation see themselves reflected in modern spaces. In that sense, TikTok is not just an entertainment platform. It's a contemporary gathering place, one where culture, entrepreneurship, and community meet, and where participation in the modern economy can happen without leaving your identity behind. And as a local team at TikTok Canada, I can't tell you how proud it makes all of us to know that the work that we're doing to support Indigenous communities and creators is having this type of impact. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for your time. Again, I'm here for the rest of the day. If you want to say hi and chat and ask about any of the creators, please do. Thank you very much.